All right, so what we can do is get the remote feeder, you set it up, and she approaches it, you go win, and her treats go in the tray. You don't press the button at the moment. Then she goes and approaches it again, win, treats there. Because she can be quite a little bit sensitive to new noises, have the one of you be sat quite far away, and when she approaches again, you press the button and the treats come out, press the button, the treats come out, press the button, the treats come out. And then what you can do is, if you are in that house in particular and you do have to be somewhere else, if you're on a call or you're working, is just have that set up away from the door. And then obviously where you intend to work, test the button, because there's about a 10 meter, it can signal up to 10 meters, but just test it. Make sure wherever it is you there, you can press the button and it works. Yeah. So we can start with that. So if someone's at the door, press the button, she can go to the feeder, and let's just test that and let's see if we can get it to work. Okay. Yeah. So when you are there, so when you're not working and you are in the situation where you are there, can you call her away? Will she come away, or is she still quite tense?
Okay, pretend we're at the at my mum's house, because it's just the sort of most common place really for someone to knock on the door. So she always used to go and sit on the stairs and just wait. But now she'll go bark, and I'll approach her, and especially if it's like Kevin at the door, because I know that I can sort of do this and not have to open the door straight away. So I will calmly tell her to go back, and then by doing that, she goes up onto the step, and she starts quietening down when she's on the step. And then I think when I go to get the door again, she barked again today. And it's quite a loud, like constant bark. So it's not just a little yap. And then I'll just sort of calmly tell her to be quiet, sort of call like quiet. When she's quiet, I'll say good girl, and then I'll go and open the door.
Okay, so I think there's quite a lot of build up there, especially if she has an inkling that it is Kevin on the other side.
Oh yeah.
So I think that's quite a lot for her to deal with. It's quite overwhelming. She needs something to do. So what I would say is, if you do know it's Kevin, the best thing for you to do there is to say, go back, but she needs something to do on that step, whether it is licking. So like I said, it's about when you get there, your first job when you get to your parents' house is to get your kongs in the fridge. A bit of paste, whatever it isn't upsetting her tummy these days. Literally anything you can find, a bit of mushed carrot in there, but so your sort of job at the end of each day perhaps is to make sure you've got a plethora of kongs that you can take. You may never need them, and if you don't need them that day, you can always either bung them in the freezer or you can put them in her free work. But if I say to you, prepare at least 3 kongs each night, so whether you're going to pair, is that her whinging?
Yeah, bear with me. Oh my god, she's just sat in her bed. I think she's waiting for us to tell her to go. Come on then.
Oh, bless her. I thought I heard so. It's like, poor thing. Bless her. Yeah, I mean, at the end of that, if you can prepare 3 kongs or 3 toys or 3, just something, doesn't have to be a kong, just 3 items, put something mushy on there, mushed carrot, so a bit of chicken paste, whatever it is, not upsetting her tummy, and just have it in the fridge ready. So if you are at your parents and she is out and about because she's not in them, I say my best advice is to keep her in the back room, put something down for her and go and answer the door. But for whatever reason she's made it to the front door, easiest thing you can do is to shout out, be there in a sec, go and grab something yummy. If she follows you into the back room, great, but if she doesn't, just put it on that step after you've said go back, go and answer the door and let me know what happens. But she needs something to occupy her brain.
Do you know what? This is what I'm finding really hard. Like I don't know whether I need to change like something in my working day, but she's just so like bored, to be honest. And I find like if I leave her in the back room, she just chills. I mean, she chills for the day, but I don't know if it's normal or whether I'm just feeling guilty or what, but like she's got a couple of like little toys there and shoes and stuff, and she does, you know, when she needs to or wants to, she goes on them, but there's not much stimulation. And this is where I spoke to about the other dog, because I was like, is that gonna help? But you know, I don't.
Well, I mean, why not think, I mean, you say about the dog walker, why not try it? It's not going to hurt to every now and again, because at the end of the day, because you've remembered rightly, as well as doing all the management, you do need to enrich. So if you think your working is getting, you know, thankfully very busy now, and there's a bit less time for Poppy, then yes, you've got to fill something in, and it's going to be a bit of trial and error. So if you think the dog walk is going to be great, like I said, the provisos are they definitely do solo, and make sure they do so. And these walkers should be sending you pictures, giving you a diary of what happened. If there's no pictures and there's tons of groups of dogs on their site, stay away.
Yeah, I've actually had a call with them today. So I know one of the ladies, and I said to her, can the lady that owns it, I said, can Kirsty come and walk her? Because Kirsty knows her, she knows that she's reactive. I talk to her all the time about her. So I do her hair and nails and stuff. So that works really well. And the lady was like, oh, my dog's reactive as well. So totally, you have the option to do solo walks, and we will do what you do. And so I feel actually really confident with that.
Yeah, and you've got to teach them Poppy's this way. So when they do see a dog, it's this way, move away. And if she still does her 1, 2, 3 as well, that's all you need to tell your dog walker. That's just all you need to say. In terms of them introducing them to other dogs, we know that when Poppy first meets a dog off lead, she will have a bloody good bark, but she does cool off. And I have said to you before, it's kind of a toss up really, because the more she does that, the less likely that behavior, we're going to change it. But it's a case of, do we need to get her a bit of social going? And I think when we had this conversation, I think it's more of a con to stop having social. So what you can say to these dog walkers is that if you think there's a nice match, be aware this is what's going to happen. She's going to go batshit crazy the first time she sees this dog. But then it doesn't take her long. I think it's about, what was it, about 15, 20 minutes, where she ignores them for a bit, and then she sort of kind of gets into it. So as long as the dog they're introducing her to is not reactive back, is not frightened by that, because that's my only concern is I don't want the other dog feeling intimidated. So as long as the other dog just looks at her and goes, whatever, babes, I don't care.
Yeah.
A bit like when
you
a bit like Ush did with Poppy, was just look up and go, I'm far too busy for this crap, girl.
Yeah.
If you got a dog like that, then you can say, go for it, and then I'm happy to do group walks, but definitely start off solo. And if they are good dog walkers, they're actually the best at understanding what dog goes with what. They know dog walkers I would work with a hell of a lot better than me, and I'll always have them on hand to say, you know, what works where. So, and because they're the ones that are dealing with it day in, day out. So if they're good dog walkers, start solo, and then if they say, oh look, we know this dog, what do you feel, just warn them what's going to happen. If they think all is good, then it would be great for Poppy to have a regular playmate, because that was definitely part of her original program, is having a playmate. But I do know with family, and like I say with COVID and that kind of all went to hell. So
it really did. That's the bummer. I invited my friend over the other day, and I said, oh, bring Stevie along, because they love each other. And she came along, but without Stevie. I didn't just invite her for Stevie, but I was a big part of it.
It's nice to be loved, isn't it?
Yeah.
But no, I do think it will be, it is, like I said, it was part of our original program, and I think it should be part of this one, that we can start her off solo and your dog walkers know of some that they might get on with, then that's going to be really, really good. So so let's get our enrichment up then, carry on with the dog walkers, get that going, carry on with your free work and find it, because it is part of her enrichment, you know, mix it up as much as you can, just keep her going with that. I mean, one thing I've noticed now is, because you put that down, last time I was on a call with you, she was quite all over the place and quite squeaky and all that, but I can't, apart from that one squeak, bless her, she's a lot calmer this time. Okay.
Yeah, it really does help. I was gonna actually ask, with the door situation, because I think in an ideal world I'd be able to get to the Kong and do all of that and then get to the door. But I feel that I potentially need to do training, even if it's every day, with that type of thing, get somebody to knock on the door a couple of times and then do that. So like set it up, you know, would that be okay?
Yeah, absolutely. Doing setups is fine. But at the same time, you've got to be ready for those unprepared. So you just got to get yourself into the routine of there's always something in the fridge I can get. I'll send you the link for the remote feeder. Have a look at that, because you can always have it set up. It's there and you just happen to hear it and you've got the button on you. You can just put it in your pocket. It comes as this massive thing, but you can take it out of its massive case and it's just about the size of your palm. So you can have it in your pocket, go around, and then if it does go, you can do it off. But it would be good to do a setup, even if so let me just write this down. Because so what we could do to start with is you teach them, so the feeder comes out and treats, do that a couple of times, then the feeder and the button, and then literally one of you, even with the button, just sits by the front door, knocks and presses the button. Doesn't have to be anyone on the other side. Let's just get the
noise. Yeah, because even when I do it now, it's like, what, you know. So
and then on the other side, so if you could do, you know, a couple of sessions a day or one session, whatever you can fit in, but no more than probably 2-3 minutes at a time.
Yeah, that's
you wouldn't want to be sat there for 15 minutes just doing this. You'll absolutely send her nuts. So yeah, so first session, get the feeder out. Feeder means food, providing you don't see any of her kind of weight shifting back or very nervous behavior. Then move on to the button. If she's excited like hell to say, oh my God, this thing gives food, this is like really cool, then just go and sit, have that over there, sit by the door, button, food.
Cool.
Button, food.
Yeah. Button. So get used to the feeder and then get used to the feeder and knocking and then progress like in time to
and you can mix it up. So it might be if you're at your parents' house, because you don't need the remote at your parents' house, that's more for there. You could just get in, knock this way to Kong. Knock this way to Kong. Okay, so you can add that in this way or back up, whichever you find. But she's got to have a job to do at the end.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's knock this way and food. Eventually you can drop the back up in this way. It won't take her long to figure out that every time someone knocks, something tasty's coming out the fridge. And if she picks that up quite quickly, then if she has a bad day, again, you'll know that's another indicator like her. You'll probably find that will come hand in hand with her garden. So excuse me.
Yeah.
That'll come hand in hand with her garden. Okay.
I noticed today, just I think it's excitement, you know, somebody being at the door, because when my clients always used to knock at the door, not a problem. She used to have I used to tell her to get back. She'd sit at the bottom of the stairs and she'd wait and she'd greet the people, you know, and it was all fine. But since obviously people haven't been knocking, that's when it's really started. But also today, somebody, like one of my clients, come and parked on the drive. Now she was in the living room, could see out the window, and she was going crazy. And I knew that my client was there before I'd even looked out the window. And so she sat in her car, and then Poppy went up onto the step, like before I'd even like come to the door. I was just like waiting at the door. So I think it's excitement for grief. It's not like a bad reaction.
No, I don't think it's. I think so when I say react, I think she's just sensitive. So she can't control herself. I think in my notes I've got down that I never had her down as being overly territorial. It was slightly anxious when we first started working together. And then it went more into, will you open the door? I have to see who it is. Oh my God, let me in. So it was just her not able to control herself. And then the more you got her into a routine, the more she was then able to control herself. So no, she's just, at the end of the day, she's a sensitive soul. And all these reactions, whether they come out as anxious, whether they're frustrated, it's basically, she has an emotion and it just all pours out, whether she's excited, whether she's anxious, whether she's fearful. She goes for it. Let's be honest. She doesn't do anything by half. She goes for it. So depending on all these situations, it gives you a barometer of how she's feeling. So if you're doing really well over the next week or so with the door, and then in 10 days she has she goes mad again, it's like, well, unless it's someone who winds her up, maybe then it'd be okay, well, maybe she needs a break. So it might be, less walks, more free work, or more play. So you just use it as a barometer for her to say, how are you feeling, girl? Are you feeling okay? But no, she's got the lot. She's got frustrated, she's fearful, everything's in there, and it all comes out, and it all intertwines with her. She did start off very anxious, but she has calmed down a huge amount. And some of her other emotions are coming out. So it comes down to, very similar to how we started before, Gemma, which is we've just got to bring things and cool things down. So have a bit more of a think about the diary and see if there's some way that you can keep it. I don't mind how you do it, but it's whether, like, if you have to, just put a big piece of paper on the first door that you see when you come in and just write it, and then take a picture, however you want to do it. But the more you can keep a diary, it's not going to be forever, but if we can do it for the next few weeks, we can just spot and make sure everything's okay. I'll definitely send you the remote link, but for now you can still, don't have to wait for the remote control. Knock this way, throw food. Knock this way, throw food.
So when we're in this house with obviously that's the back door there, and then the front door's literally there, so this is one whole room. So would you give a bed command and then a licking mat, or?
I would literally, you use your backup all this way, so you can use bed if you want to. So have a bit of a play with it, because in that house, this way would be fine because you just move her away. If she'll go to her bed, great. I'm not sure she'd be settled enough to do that. That might be something we head towards, but try it and see what happens. But start off simple. Start off by knock and food, or knock and licky mat, and then depending on how she reacts to that, try it. Knock, bed, licky mat. If she can't do that, knock. All right, just back up this way, licky mat.
Okay, cool.
So if you can play about with that and let me know how it goes, so just put me the odd note on WhatsApp, let me know how it goes, and then would you be happy to have another chat next Wednesday about the same time?
Great.
All right, so Wednesday at 7:30. So then what we can do then is have a catch up. Obviously, if something happens during the week, we can discuss it. But if you can get on with those bits and pieces, I'm going to contact the vet and see if there's any way we can get started with behaviour meds anytime soon. And then we'll go from there. So does that sound like a plan?
Sounds like a plan. Yeah, definitely. One thing I was going to tell you, I don't know if you sort of would see this relating or whether this is just her being silly, but we went for a walk up Cheryl Monument, and we were on like in the field, and we were, because it goes up up a bit of a hill, so we walked up to the top, and then when you look over to the horizon, you can see all of the landscape, but you can also see the road, and all the cars driving across. She was barking at them.
She was trying to chase them.
We were like ages away, and they were obviously tiny for her, and she was like, "Argh!" So she was barking at that as well, and it's like, oh,
her perception was that they were like right next to her, and they were small. And
how windy was it?
It was windy,
very windy.
Yeah. All right, so I'm wondering if we're not just, I think she might be moving possibly slightly away from anxious more into frustrating, because she can't, there's two options. One, she was frustrated because she couldn't get down and see them, but that's a possibility because I haven't seen her in over a year. But the other thing is that much wind, that much scent coming at her would have been overwhelming. At the top as well, you mentioned, would have been open area, very out in the open. So if I was to take a guess, I would say it's probably because it was really windy up there. If you go back on I think we might put that as a bit of homework if you can. If you can go back on a calm day and see if she does the same. If she does, then perhaps she is moving more into she's getting frustrated because she can't go, which is actually a good thing, because we were initially dealing with a dog was, don't want to do anything, everything go away, shoo, I just don't, I don't want anything. So if she is moving more into a on, I want to go over and see that, and oh, I want to go in over and see that, then that's really great.
Yeah.
Sorry, I've just got to shut my alarm off again before it goes off. Then great, absolutely great. So go back there and see what happens. I'll say, and I'll have a word with the vet. But no, it just, like I said, she's just very sensitive at the minute, and everything is just over the top. So if we can get her back into those routines, especially around the door. So if you've got some time tonight, just get some nice yummy bits of carrot, knock knock this way, or knock knock bed, give it a try. Let me know what happens. I'll put all this into an email for you, and of course you can access the system to come and double check anything I say. I'll also upload this video for you as well if you need to watch it back.
Fab, thank you.
Yeah, if we start there, and then just like last time, it was a case of just finding the right routine for her, because once she was in the right routine, things calmed down quite nicely, and then we were able to progress to the dog training, you know, within sort of 40 days, you know, so we will get there again.
I think with her, doing something all the time and making it mundane almost is like the key for her. Not necessarily the reaction with the dog reactions, but like, do you remember in the car, but back when we were doing the training, she was just like, I think it was when me and my ex had gone to Cornwall, and we were going, it's all started, we broke down, so we were on the side of the road for a long time, and then in Cornwall there was new walks, new dogs, really overwhelming, there was lots of people, and you know, had some moments, but then every time we were about to get out the car to, you know, go to the beach or whatever, we were going down a really bumpy road because it's Cornwall, and I noticed every time, like after that, every time I was going down bumps, she would react, and then it just become a whole reaction in the car, like all the time wherever we went. But now we live in Calne, there's no reaction. You've seen a difference, haven't you, from when he first met her? It like it was like, oh my god, you know, because every time we went in the car we were going for a walk, but now it's just back and forth to home, and she goes and lays down in the back. She does bark at dogs as well, of course,
because it wouldn't be, when she sees them, but
wouldn't be Poppy without it.
9 times out of 10 she just chills out in the back.
I've got it in my notes. You had, because we couldn't work out, because there were some journeys she was fine and others we weren't, so we were kind of mucking around with that to figure out what was kind of going on, because down to the estate and back she was okay, and there was a couple of trips to the vet she was okay, but no, really well spotted that, you know, if it's a bumpy ride, then she's predicting, oh god, you know, back to that Cornwall state, and that's why she's reacting. So no, well done. And it is going through all that and figuring out, you know, why is she doing it, and you just keep going through it until you figure it out, and then you're able to deal with it. And that's absolutely brilliant, Gemma, well done. That's absolutely brilliant. So, but yeah, it's just kind of going through it all, but like you say, once you expose her to it, and not in a bad way, I'm not talking about shoving in and like getting it and get used to it, but like you say, just making almost mundane, it's routine, and then she completely desensitizes to it all, and it's like, it's just another thing, all good. But and that's what we've got to do. So if we can desensitize her to that door, because we know there's no major issue at the door, there wasn't when I worked with you, it was just pure over arousal.
That's all it is.
That's all it is. Her major emotions are mainly down with, you know, meeting dogs out on a walk. That's her major, and then obviously, you know, originally she was quite sensitive because of all her anal gland problems and her phantom pregnancies and all the rest of it, you know, and then it just took her a while to come to terms with that. That's why she was so guardy and things, and she just learned that's the way I deal with things. If I'm annoyed, I tell people to pee off. I don't want them near me. But no, I think that sounds good. So does that all sound good? So what is it you're going to be doing this week for me then?
Right, and keeping a diary, definite. Still doing sniffy trainings and licky mats and whatnot. We'll do the door with you know, hopefully just a couple of knocks and throw some treats to start with, and then sort of progress, maybe get the clicker potentially, and if we need to, I've making sure that she's got like something to do as well. That's like a big thing, and obviously I'll meet the dog walker hopefully this week as well. So
bloody perfect, absolutely fantastic.
Back up the hill, yeah.
See, between you, you've got it all. Fantastic, lovely. Yeah. So what I'll do is I'll bung that all. You'll probably get the email tomorrow. So yeah, but you've got it there. It's in your heads. If you need me, I'm on the WhatsApp group, or you can always ring. And then we will go from there. But I will do that email to the vets tomorrow, and I'll copy you in so you can see. They're not overly quick at getting back, but I will chase them again on Friday, and then hopefully we'll hear something kind of Monday, Tuesday. But that's actually quite standard. There's only a few vets I know that get back to me within 48 hours. So the rest of them take a little bit of time. So, but that's quite normal. And she's probably trying to find a polite way of saying, I don't really want to. Do we absolutely have to do this? Yes, we do.
Definitely. I know I'm a bit hesitant of what they're going to say, but we'll see.
It opens a discussion up. I mean, at the end of the day, it will help her, but she's not a dog that she's not going to suffer without it, if you know what I mean. She's not suffering without these. If I'm dealing with a dog that, you know, is a serious welfare issue to me, then I'm on the vets every 5 minutes until they do it. But at the end of the day, because she is one of the borderlines, it's just about taking our time to say to the vets, you know, because at the end of the day, the vet is the one responsible. So if any reaction happens with Poppy, it's the vet's responsibility. So the vet has to be absolutely sure it's worth the consequences. And what we can say is, well, you know, we did this 18 months ago, and all it takes is one change in routine. And she's not right back to square one, but she's, you know, she's fairly back. So without the drug therapy, this is going to be her life of constantly, you know, going into these anxious states, coming out. And whereas if she's on drug therapy, we've got a chance of actually keeping her in a, you know, a better stable mood. And that's what I'll say to the vet. And then she can come back and say, well, that's okay, but these are the cons of going on the drugs. This is what we'd have to do. And then providing the drug regime meets with your lifestyle, in other words, you can administer the medication when it's needed, then the vet's going to be happy to go ahead.
Cool. Lovely. Great stuff. Fab.
Fantastic then. Right then, so is there anything else you wanted to chat to me about?
No, I think that's it. Is that it? Yeah.
Right, I think we're all good then. Right, so go forth. I'm so interested to know what happens when you go up that windy hill. I'm going to be.
I know.
Mind you, it depends on the weather, doesn't it? We haven't had a lot of luck recently, so you'll probably pick a day, and it's supposed to be gorgeous and sunny. You go up, and it's absolutely blistering.
I know, typical. I know.
Never mind. All right then, Gemma, if you need me, call me. I'll get all this written up. You have it all by tomorrow if you need it, but you've got it all in your heads between you, so fantastic. And bye, Popsy. See you soon, sweetie.
She's off. She's loving it.
Fine, she's all good.
Oh, bless her.
She's good, isn't she? Yeah, we've been on for nearly 40 minutes, so good on her. Yeah, leave her to it. Yeah, go and have a cup of tea. Leave her to it. You're all right.
Lush. Oh, Lush, thank you for chatting.
No worries, Gemma. I will see you next Wednesday as well, okay?
Yeah. See you next Wednesday.
Thank you. Bye.